Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Stalker Gamma video. Now, prior to continuing with the actual video, I want to really just recap my personal situation from last time, because it needs mentioning, right? I'm not uploading videos very often, because my health isn't great. I have some spine problems, which I am healing, and it is getting better, and it is, I'm on the road to recovery, and it's nothing serious, thankfully. It could have been. I spent a ludicrous amount of money trying to fix it, so on and so forth. But the reason I'm saying all of this is, I know this could have been a better video. I already know that it's not going to be ideal, and that I could have written. So I'm just going to pause you right here really quickly. I could have written a script. I could have prepared a little bit more, made it more structured, made a more presentable video that's a little bit more professional, a little bit more concise. I can't really do that right now because of the interruptions, because of my health state, which isn't great. I feel like I'm being electrocuted every few minutes. Every minute actually. And I already mentioned that it's really difficult to talk through these anyway, let alone do anything else. But I will try, and also I'm incredibly busy with university work on top of that, so not ideal. But I do have something rather important to tell you about Stalker Gamma, and I want to share it with you because it's fascinating. I've been playing Stalker Gamma Ironman mode, and it's opened my eyes to certain things. It's opened my eyes to certain things, and it made me interact with both the game, the economy of the game, the environment, really also with myself on a level of tactics and decision-making that no other Stalker-related mod or Stalker-related mod pack or feature, Anomaly-related, all of those things ever has. And I really wanted to share my experiences with you, and I wanted to mention it, and I want to do a video on it. So, first and foremost, I'm playing Stalker Gamma, the basic mod pack with very few tweaks. I've added one thing to it though, and that is Ironman Light. Ironman Light makes it so that when you die, the world progress is saved for your next Ironman campaign. Which means, if enabled obviously, which means that if I were to die right now, I could make a new character as, for example, a mercenary, and I can run to this character and retrieve either all of his gear or a part of his gear, and I could... Actually, let me unequip this before I continue, because I just remembered, that's how my ADHD brain works. I just remembered I don't need that anymore. So I could run back to there, or alternatively, if I wish, I could go back to the base that this character has made and retrieve some of the tools and stuff like that, which is pretty much the most vital part of progression here. It's the quests themselves aren't really all that important. And yeah, that's about it. That's the only little addition I've made. Now, I'm also playing this on a relatively high difficulty level. And what I mean by that is that I've tweaked the progression so that it's a little bit less grindy. You get more stuff. And I think that just makes sense, that I would get more stuff out of the stalkers that I kill. It just wouldn't make any sense for me to kill like 10 duty soldiers and out of all of them collect a grand total of 15 rounds of ammunition and like one piece of glue and, whatever, out of 10 soldiers. That doesn't make any sense. So instead, I've upped those values a little bit. However, everything else is on the harder side of things, both the progression, the gunplay, the enemy accuracy, the enemy behavior, AI, everything, all those things have been tweaked, damage, so on and so forth. Excuse me for just a second. Sorry, there's the other reason I can't do these videos more properly, often interruptions that I get. But anywho, enough about me. Let me give you a few examples of what I'm talking about. So, first of all, in terms of raw gameplay, I am sneaking around a lot more. Here, I'm not going to sneak too much, I'm just going to fight, because this is actually my second time trying to siege this place. And this is the second time I'm running into the pumping station. The first time, I had to retreat. I got low on health, I got the shit beat out of me, and I had to run away. Retreat back to the base, to the Clear Sky base, and I'll waste my good ammo on this. That'll do better. I don't see the other guy. But he sees me perfectly well, clearly. Alright, that's fine. I think it's just a zombie, though, so we can... Hand's empty. So we can just ignore him. It's gonna be a while until he gets here. I had to sneak around more. I had to do things that I've never done before. For example, I saw a large group of loners going from... I don't know if you know the map by heart, but I spent thousands, maybe, well, definitely hundreds upon hundreds of hours in Escape from Pripyat, so I know it. From the military checkpoint up at the north of Cordon, right? So a large group of loners making their way down south towards Rookie Village. I joined them because it's much safer to travel like that. Much less likely to get ambushed by a mutant, much less likely to get attacked by a group of bandits and killed, especially in the early game, etc., etc. Like, all of these things made sense at the time, and so that's what I did. I would have never done that in any other iteration of this game. There's just so many little things when you start actually playing. The amount of detail I have to pay attention to when it comes to artifacts, especially when it comes to artifacts with the revamped artifact system, I now have to collect all of them, right? I went through EFP, and then, you know, prior to that I went through Stalker Anomaly, the base Anomaly game, without really caring much for artifacts at all. Yeah, I know, in a Stalker game where artifacts are so important, to me, I just bought the best armor I could afford at the time, put some Kevlar plates in it, and I was fine. Like, elemental resistance, radiation would usually be taken care of via the masks, and then everything else, well, I mean, the biggest threat was getting shot at by the monoliths, so who cares about, like, burn resistance and stuff? Here, not only do you care about burn resistance, you care about it to the point where you can't do certain tasks without proper protection, and so you have to have it. And then, on top of that, I have to do those tasks. I still can't see him. It's gonna be a problem. On top of that, you have to do those tasks. There's no other option, right? You absolutely have to in order to do, well, in order to survive, right? In order to get more tasks, in order to get the rewards from those tasks, etc., etc. And then that leads me on to the discussion about the economy and the speed at which I play the game. So, let's talk about the second first, because it's easier. There's one zombie out there. I know it's a zombie based on how he's shooting and how he's moving. I have no idea where he is. I would, in EFP and other mods, I would run out there and just try and fight him. Even in EFP 4.0, the new one, which is a lot harder, I would still feel a little bit more confident. Here, not so much, right? I mean, the difficulty has a lot to do with it as well. So instead, I'm just going to crouch here and wait for him to approach, and then fight him later, when he's closer and when I can actually see him. Or I can go around, which is the other option, which I think I'm liking a lot better. Just set the waypoint to the new stash, which contains tools. And I know that based on the color of the stash, and not based on some magic. Although, yeah, because that is the magic of technology and being able to have different colored stashes on your map. But anywho, that's a thing, right? And then, on top of all of that, is the economy of the game, on top of the difference in gameplay, where it's more tactical, more slow, etc., etc. And I'm getting interrupted again. Give me a second. Sorry, I have an important business call. Last interruption, I swear, at least for the duration of this video, not because I'm psychic, but because I've turned everything off. I've talked about, like, the gunplay, I've talked about the tactics and how you move and stuff, and generally how you perceive the game. this is all very different, right? Let's just ignore that guy for now. This is all very different and changed, and that's fair enough. Now I need to talk to you about the economy, because the economy of Gamma is something that at first I thought I wouldn't really like, because I'm not a big fan of the lore explanation behind, oh, the military and the UN and everything. I don't know if it's the UN, but the military has done a crackdown on the zone where illegal weapons trade is now banned, and there's fewer weapons to buy, and the only weapons you can get are the ones you find in the field and then repair them. And so there's no black market for guns whatsoever, really. Well, turns out there is. It's just an optional mod that you can turn on. It's called the Black Market, and it makes it really well thought out and fun to buy things. Because, you see, not all traders will buy the same gun. Will sell the same weapon. On the other hand, not all traders will buy weapons or buy the same type of weapon either. So now there's that whole conundrum and problem to think about. The Black Market mod is really, really good. I thought it would just enable all of the regular weapons and trades that you can do generally for each trader in the game, but no, it tweaked those values as well. And so, like I said, not only is it well thought out, it makes lore sense as well. So I highly, highly recommend playing with that. But the trade mod aside, the economy of the game has forced me to learn how to craft stuff, which EFB hasn't done in all of the hundreds of hours that I've played it, and God knows Anomaly and Misery haven't done that either. All I've learned was the basics of how to clean my guns. When it came to disassembling weapons and reassembling them and whatever, God no. But the economy of Gamma works, and the economy of Gamma works incredibly well, because you see... Hold on, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, that's just the observation post. Well, might as well climb it, see what's up here. Economy-wise, I'm now having to learn how to craft stuff, and I need to have a base of operations. It doesn't matter if you're playing as a loner, as a monolith character, or anything in between. You need a permanent base of operations, from which you will do all your crafting, do all your upgrading, and then go out on the field to collect stuff. A sort of nomadic lifestyle, which was possible in Anomaly, is not really possible here due to weight limitations. Even if you put the weight limitations at an extremely generous 67 kilos off the get-go, or I think it's 50 without any of the backpacks or anything, even if you put it at that, it's still incredibly difficult to get anything done. And so instead, what you end up having to do is store all your stuff in a base. Now, the base that you store it in is going to be different. It could be next to, for example, the Rookie Village. It could be next to something like the Agriprom military base, or it could be in the middle of nowhere if you're playing a more solo lone wolf style character, as in one of the hidden factions or Monolith or something like that. And with the furniture mod, which I can showcase in just a second, if you let me hide in here really quickly from that zombie. There's another rifle barrel, interesting. We can actually drop these because they're below any reasonable condition. Let's open up. Thankfully I have some tools. I got them relatively early on. Let's open this up and say hideout furniture. These are all the things you can craft. Most of them are purely decorative. One of them is vital for your survival. And that's this. Now, you don't need it, but you need it. The workshop, the way it works is it's a stash and a workshop at the same time. It can store up to 300 kilograms of your components, that is, upgrade parts, replacement parts, anything you need really, and you can put tools inside the stash and they're all going to be accessible in the workshop. So this is where you do your upgrading. There's also stoves, there's also maps, there's also all sorts of decorative stuff, displays, which I absolutely adore, an entire fridge, which is usable as a stash, so if you want to make it like so, you know, it can hold food or whatever, great. but that's for later down the line when you have a lot of resources, or you have a lot of money to buy the resources that you need, or indeed the furniture that you need. But at any rate, you need a permanent base of operations, and that involves a certain playstyle. So, for one, I now strip every single thing I kill to the bone of all potentially useful components, both now and potentially useful in the future. Because if I don't need the gun parts that I found on the zombie today, I might need to disassemble that gun and use the metallic bits or whatever to craft something in the future. Everything has a use. And so you end up playing this game almost like you're playing, I don't know, freaking Minecraft or something. And to help you with that is the left alt key, which is auto loot. It will automatically loot anything and everything you need. But it will not take guns. Guns you're going to need to take for yourselves. For example, this Mossberg has a 93% condition barrel. This Mossberg is one of the best weapons I have found in the game thus far. And so, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to try and fix it up right away, if at all possible. Put the lever in. Yeah, I don't have all the parts for it. Unmark as favorite. Favorite parts. All favorite parts missing or below 60% condition. And there you go. And now, every time I come across a part that's roughly related to my Mossberg, I have it favorited. And it'll show up at the top of my inventory. Glorious and genius. In the meantime, though, put that away. Use this. Also reload this. Another gun I recently picked up, the Vityaz, but the Tier A guns, which is what the letter is indicated here, they're relatively easy to repair because you can get the repair kit for them at a somewhat low price, and with a repair kit, you don't need the actual parts from enemies. You can just use the repair kit to replace the parts that you don't need. The repair kit already contains them. It just takes off a use. Now, I'm explaining the crafting and inventory and weapon management system in detail here because you need to understand what this means. This means that, especially in Ironman mode and on higher difficulties, I am lugging stuff around all the time, yes, and I'm overburdened with all sorts of trash all the time, absolutely, but I need this trash. Without this trash, I cannot survive, like, at all. Ammunition is also relatively difficult to come across, and so what ends up happening is I need the ammunition from all of these things, and I need to... we're going to go here, fast travel over here, go over here, and then I'm going to do it that way. Ammunition is also difficult to come by, so you need to deconstruct or what's the word? Disassemble all the ammo that you pick up that you're not actually using. Speaking of, right, there we go. Disassemble all of these things. 9x19 I am using, and shotgun shells I will be using for the Mossberg, but everything else I should probably disassemble because ammo crafting is very important. Also, disassembling things makes it so they're lighter to carry around. In fact, much lighter than carrying around whole boxes of ammunition. Which doesn't make a lot of sense, but, you know, we sacrifice some gameplay elements for the sake of enjoyment and the sake of, well, fun. We're sacrificing some realism, I meant. I'm not sure if that's what I said. Give me a second. Okay. Like I said, back pain, well, it's not even pain, it's like muscle spasms and electric shocks and stuff. It's hell to string together some sentences sometimes, but I reckon, you know, with enough, with a combination of some medication and stuff, there's periods throughout the day where I'm more functional than others. So I try and use those, either for work or for videos like this. Anywho, that's about it when it comes to the economy. You need to loot everything and you need to have a base. And that made a world of difference for me, because all of a sudden I'm not thinking about going to the north of the zone for no apparent reason whatsoever. No, now I'm thinking, listen, I need to stay around Rostock, or rather I need to stay around Rookie Village right now, grab all my stuff from there, and then fast travel back up to Rostock, if you have fast travel enabled. If not, then it's even harder, but it gets hard to the point of being annoying. It's no longer a challenge for the sake of it being a challenge, it's a challenge for the sake of it being annoying, right? Because I've already walked through this area and I've already cleared it. There's no reason for me not to just open the PDA up right now and go, look, there's my stash somewhere. I can't click it because I've placed it in an unfortunate spot, but otherwise I would fast travel to it, right? I think it also has to do with the quest. Now that I have the quest, it's overlapping with the stash. Should have placed it somewhere else. But generally, if we go back to Rookie Village now from here, I would fast travel up to Rostock with all my gear, because that's where I intend my main base to be, because it's a nice central location in the zone, and it's relatively quick to get to everywhere from there, apart from the very northern parts, which I don't have any intention on going there anytime soon anyway. So yeah. Plus, as a loner, I think it's a great base. Loads of quests, loads of traders, and all of those things. So, that's also another thing that you have to do. You're now thinking in that sense. And if you don't have backpack traveling enabled, it's a little bit more annoying, but you can hire guides as well, and now they become a lot more viable and a lot more interesting and a lot more useful as well. Again, in EFP, even if I've disabled fast travel, you can just run from most places to other places, because you don't need to travel that often, right? I mean, sure, I had a base in Dead City with furniture and everything, but most of the time the base in Dead City was there for me to buy stuff, right? Pick up quests and buy stuff and sort of get a general direction of where I'm going. Here it's different. Here, quests aren't that important. I mean, they are definitely, because of the money, the rewards, the stashes and everything, but what's much more important is my own economy that I'm building through looting. That's the vital bit, and it's really refreshing. Now, you can customize this experience any way you like. You can turn off save mode for crying out loud. You can turn on only campfire saving. You can turn on a whole heap of things. You know, there's all sorts and loads of different ways you can go about this, but customize it to your own liking. All I'm saying is that the railings have been destroyed. Sorry, no. All I'm saying is that things like these change the game drastically, and they change my perception of the game, and they change my idea of what to expect from the game. And that's exactly what I wanted from Anomaly. Having spent hundreds and hundreds of hours in Stalker, in Stalker EFP, rather Stalker Anomaly EFP, I needed something that's very different. I needed something to completely change my perspective of the game and change things around, including some of the monsters and everything, and the artifacts, and some of the monster spawns, which Gamma also does, where the game's exciting again, because I've gotten to the point where I've played EFP so much, I know where most cells spawn, right? And so I know where to expect enemies on each map, and parts of the map I can just run through willy-nilly most of the time. It got a little bit ridiculous. But now, with all of these mods installed and all of these things, not like that. It's very different. And I love that. I absolutely love that, and I think it's, well, beyond amazing, really. So, I actually don't have anything in the stash here. Good. That's good. Let's open this up, and we're going to Up this guy's team, assault, capture the road to Cordon. Will do, just in a slightly different way than you're expecting. Oh. It won't let me backpack travel. Okay, backpack travel enabled. Is it because of the stash? It could be because of the stash. Never mind, there is a guide here I can use. Travel instead, it's more or less the same thing. Speaking of, if you think backpack traveling or fast traveling is unfair and unrealistic and cheats and whatever, you can configure it to the point where there is a percentage chance or a guarantee that you will lose some things while fast traveling. For example, condition of your gear, level of health, food, sleepiness, etc., etc. You will lose those things when fast traveling, so it's kind of simulating you going from place to place when you really don't want to do it and you're a little bit bored of going through the same area over and over again. I think that's brilliant as well. But customization and the ability to customize absolutely everything has never been really a weak point of Anomaly in general, especially these large mod packs, so I wouldn't expect anything less, but yeah. Just saying that is an option as well. The guide is the guy over there, I think. It's going to take a second for me to recuperate my stamina. I'm just over the weight limit. Mostly because this Mossberg, but yeah. Okay. Hello. I'd like to use your services. I need to go to the Rookie Village in Cordon, which is 1,500 rubles, which is basically nothing. You can also take you all the way to the bar, which, you know, even better, I would say. There you go. And fast travel like this has been in all of the Stalker games, so it's not exactly like I'm inventing hot water. And there we go. We're in Rookie Village now. And we're back to, you know, dealing with the economy a little bit more. But there is one more thing I want to mention before I end the video. And that is, I've also noticed one more thing, and that is gear degradation on higher levels makes a lot more sense. It's not maybe as realistic. Certainly your armor getting torn up when you're getting hit is realistic, that's fine. Weapon damage and weapon cleaning is also, I think, done even on some really high sliders, on the more right side of the sliders, right, the higher end of the sliders. Even then, I think it's done to a semi-realistic extent given the conditions that the zone is in. And so I thought I would really hate it. I don't, like, not really. And yeah, there's all my stuff that I've collected over time. Truly spectacular, would you not say? Leave the upgrade things in there, leave the ammo in there. I got a drug making kit, which is not what I was looking for, really. I was looking for a gun, or an ammo crafting kit, but well, beggars can't be choosers and all that. Let's see if I have enough parts to... Do I really have nothing for the shotgun? Oh, there it is, idiot. Right. Boom. Boom. We're now missing the guard, or the pump, as they call it when you go over here. Okay. Out of curiosity... Favorite parts, unfavorite, all parts with condition at least 60. That is exactly what I need to do. Wow, that is amazing. Yeah, the UI is... It takes a little bit of getting used to, right? It takes a little bit of getting used to, because it's not always obvious what the A stands for in the gun. What does light stand for? What does, you know, what are all these dots for, and so on and so forth. It takes a little bit of time getting used to. For example, when it comes to armor parts, this is what you get when you disassemble enemy suits of armor. It's not always obvious what the little hammer and what is that, wrench thing represents. You need some getting used to, but basically this means that it's a crafting component. This means that it's just an armor component. So if you're not interested in that, you just chuck it away or you know, throw it away or whatever. Upgrade parts I think are fairly obvious, but again, you see the little icons? So, body armor part, 1 chevron meaning tier 1. Body armor part, 3 chevrons meaning it's tier 3. The little target means it's a weapon or an optical upgrade, and 1 chevron, it's a basic one. So, you know, you get the point. And so on and so forth. I mean, there's a couple of other things I could talk about, but I feel like I got the main stuff out of the way and the most important stuff out of the way. And yeah, I mean, the game is just bloody amazing. That there was no doubt about that whatsoever. Take a look at this Mossberg now. Oh, all of the weapons look so good. That's one of the things in EFP that kind of bothered me, especially early days of EFP. Notice that some of the guns look better while others look considerably worse when it comes to animations and everything. Here, all the guns are in more or less the same quality, and it's pretty incredible. Let's trade with this guy, see if there's something new for us. And there is. He has this and this, which I shall buy for a relatively low price and then attach to my gun later. So these room dividers and stuff, which are pretty cool. Didn't know Sidrovich sold them. Well, cool. And then I'm going to need some ammunition. Now for the pistol, I think I'm okay. It's the rifle or the machine gun that I need. Ammo for, so let's say 60 AP. And about, that's 15 hollow points will do, I think. There we go. Right, good. Let's also play some blackjack for the sake of engagement, and you know, I know how these things go. The gambling videos are hit on YouTube right now, so let's gamble a bit of money away. Oh, really? You got a 21 as well? Pushing. Blackjack here is a little bit simplified. There is no split option or anything like that. Instead, you just try and get your cards to as close to 21 as possible. If you go over, you lose. If you go under, you win. Your opponent, however, can go way over 21, and then you're going to win. So the one that's closest to 21 wins, essentially. Like so. I'm going to hold here. Yeah, there you go. I win. Hit me once. I'm going to hold. Oh, unfortunate. Wow. I'm also not sure how some of these cards work, because isn't in regular blackjack this a 1? And so it would be 1 and plus 8 plus 7, which equals 26 doth not, let me tell you, but whatever. And sometimes you also get unlucky with a pair of aces, you're at 22, which is fascinating. And you can't click the cards to do anything about it, so yeah. Dunno. Anyways, I think I've lost enough money to Sidrovich. God, I've lost so much money to him. Weak bastard, that man. Anywho, there is blackjack in the game. Just no reason whatsoever, but there is blackjack in the game. Put these attachments onto our gun. Just semi-auto. EOTech's really nice, and change colour with it as well. I really fancy this. It's not a very pragmatic side, though. It's a bit distracting with all the different dots. Let's go with this. Yeah, you can change that as well. It's freaking phenomenal, isn't it? It's the little details like that I absolutely geek out about. But anywho, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Please do remember to like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed, and want to stay tuned with the rest of the content that I produce on this channel. Or rather, that I will produce on this channel eventually, because I understand that I haven't been really constant with my uploads recently. There haven't been that many, but like I said, having some problems dealing with them, and once I do, we will be back on schedule. Thank you very much for your patience. Until then, if you have any questions about Anomaly and you want to, go into some more details that I haven't talked about, or you have any, you know anything that's worth mentioning, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I've also realized that the loading screens in the mod are extremely useful. For example, just a minute ago, I've learned that I shouldn't be carrying these flasks of water with me. even though they look like the sort of military flask that you would carry around with you. No, you should carry plastic bottles of mineral water with you. One, they're better for you in terms of thirst and radiation and stuff, I believe. Although I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it's somewhere in the back of my head where I believe that that's the case. But even if they're not, they're a lot lighter. And so these types of flasks you should collect and leave at your base so you can use them for cooking. Right? And then use the mineral water for everything else. There is just one caveat that you can't make coffee with regular water. You need mineral water to make coffee. I know, look, there's nothing ideal. Some things are a little bit here and there, I suppose, in games like these, occasionally, but there you go, that's the trade-off. I'm looking for the stash that's here that I was told it's here, at least. Kind of looks like it's in... Oh, is it inside the... Whoops. Is it inside the chimney? Is that what I'm missing? Probably, right? Definitely not inside the chimney. Second option was roof, but I don't think I can get inside the roof. Oh, I definitely can. I just don't know how. Alright. Fair enough. Anywho, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching. I will see you all next time. Until then, have fun, take care, and bye-bye. I now know how to get inside the roof. It's free. Right. You jump onto the... No? Oh. It's not the tree, it's the freaking ladder, Juggernaut. Well, excuse me for assuming there'll be access to the roof that's actually inside the house. Well, there you go. We found it. Eventually. Was it worth the hassle? Absolutely not, but at least now I know. At any rate, I'll see you all next time. Have fun, take care. Stalker Anomaly with Gamma, the mod pack, and Ironman mode on high difficulty have completely changed my perspective of the game and have made it so fresh to where there's actually, I think, a sense that I started and then I felt those zaps and I couldn't finish it. Let me just get this out of the way. Again, I apologize for the video being a bit messy and unprofessional and stuff like that. Again, health issues. The one thing I wanted to mention about conditions, right? Cleaning your guns and maintaining weapons and all that is now a lot more important because they degrade a lot faster. But that's not just a pure annoying challenge, which means you now need to do it more often. No, it impacts the economy in a way you wouldn't expect. All of a sudden, you need more of those things, right? You need more cleaning kits, you need more repair kits, and so on and so forth, which means you're interacting with the economy a lot more. You're crafting them a lot more often, you're buying them a lot more often, and it's just... it brings the world to life almost in some aspects, which I think is incredibly cool. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching once again, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you all in another video. Have fun, take care, bye-bye. Oh, and I do have a bit of a bonus video for you, and I'm going to put it here right at the end. In case you've actually watched me ramble through the entire thing, then congratulations, you get a bit of extra content. The bonus is, I'm going to do sans commentary, right? Without any commentary, we're going to do a little raid on a bandit group that's... I'm not sure if they're the ones holding someone hostage or if it's the ones up north, but we're going to do a raid on a bandit camp, which is unsuspecting, and we're going to do it all cool and tactical, like with a silenced submachine gun and everything, AP ammunition. It's going to be wonderful, and you're going to get to see some cool gameplay, hopefully, with relatively decent weapons and some relatively decent skill when it comes to, you know, movement and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I don't have any tactical equipment in terms of grenades or smokes or anything like that, but should be good anyway, especially without the UI and without whatchamacallit, without any commentary and just the sounds from the game, which I will amp up in the actual video itself, or in the video editing, so enjoy.
Пацаны!
Урод!
Попали!
Да сдохни ты там уже, пидор!